What is up everyone, welcome back to another video. We are less than 2 weeks away from the start of the Premier League season. Daily uploads are back and today I'm taking you through my latest draft. I'm pretty happy with it, a couple of discussions we will have, but this could be my team I go into game week 1 with. So that is right, I'm going to be taking you through my latest FPL draft for this season. A few things have changed from when I did it about a week and a half ago. We are now just 10 days away from the start of the Premier League season, so your teams should be starting to shape up. There might be a little bit of sort of discussions going in pre-season, but you should be pretty close with sort of the squad structure and the type of players you are wanting to pick. I've had a bit of a tweak over the weekend and there are a few players in here that maybe haven't been in my previous drafts as well. This team does leave me with no money in the bank, which is not something I'm exactly happy with. I do like to leave 0.5 million in the bank to start the season. However, I haven't been able to do that with this one. I am looking at potential ways to free it up, and I do think it is worth doing because it allows you to be a little bit more flexible with your team, a little bit more sort of ambitious when you make transfers early on, that you have that spare money and you don't just have to make downgrade transfers. But let's get into how the team is lining up. We start in goal. We've gone back to having Ramsdale in goal. So I've looked at the 4.5 goalkeepers in Raya and Meslier being the key two that I've really considered having. The issue with Meslier is I don't trust their team that much. They've not been that great defensively. And then the issue with having Raya is their opening 2 games against both Leicester and Manchester United. I don't trust them to do that well. Now, given that I'm going to be wildcarding around game week 7, game week 8, I do need a good run of fixtures for the short term. And we know that Arsenal have that. Again, Tomiyasu is a bit of a doubt and he has not made this draft. And so I do still want that Arsenal cover and going with Ramsdale in goal, given that we know he's very capable of keeping clean sheets and making save points and getting bonus points as well. I have gone with him and I do think he's worth it at 5 million. Now, I could go with Mendy as well. The only thing with Mendy is I'm not 100% sure on that Chelsea defence at the moment. A lot of new signings coming in is how quickly they're going to glue and gel together. And if we look at their start to the season, they have Everton away and Leeds away in the opening 3 fixtures. Now, these might look like good fixtures on paper, but I'm a bit worried about what they're going to do in these 2 games, and they could easily concede given that they're away from home, and the third one in the first 3 is Tottenham, and again, they could easily concede there. So that could just be 1 clean sheet in their opening 3. I think that's a pretty reasonable prediction. So going for double Chelsea defence, because I do have a wing back in my starting 11. I didn't quite want, so I have gone with Ramsdale because they have a nice sort of opening 6 fixtures. I can just play him every week. So Ramsdale's in there, and then we've got a 4.0 goalkeeper just as the backup. He won't be playing. It'll be Ramsdale in there every week. Moving into the defence now, Trent stays. I have looked at going with Robertson. If I needed to save 0.5, I could. But looking at the underlying numbers, Trent has been superior to Robertson. Although at the end of last season, Robertson did really well and Trent didn't do quite as well. Trent sort of performed as expected and Robertson massively overperformed his underlying numbers, his underlying expected goals and expected assists. So I don't really expect that to continue throughout the rest of this season. And I think Trent is more likely to be sustainable going into this one. Next to him, we have Diego Dallo. Now, 4.5 million. I'm sure there'll be some of you in the comment section thinking, why has he got Diego Dallo in his team? Now, it doesn't look like Manchester United are going to be signing a right back, and it doesn't look like Wan-Bissaka is going to be getting close to that starting 11 anytime soon. Now, he's not actually had that many attacking returns when he started, but he is very attacking and has had a couple of assists in pre-season as well. They start with Brighton at home in game week 1, followed by Brentford in game week 2, and I can rotate him in and out of my team if I need to, because I do have an okay bench with this draft as well. 4.5 million for me, if Tomiyasu's not going to be fit, is the best 4.5 option. The other ones I've looked at are Dunk, but he plays Manchester United game week 1. He could be good going forward. He's got a bit of goal threat, so I could end up with Dunk. And then the other one I've looked at potentially is Johnny or Aït-Nouri at Wolves. But again, they've changed to a back 4 in pre-season, and I don't love that. They're better defensively with their back 5. So at the moment, it is Dallo in here. I do have a sort of Manchester United cover, and I do think they have the possibility to start the season well, given their pre-season form as well. In the rest of the defence, we have Reece James. Again, as I spoke about in goal, Chelsea do have a good opening run of fixtures, but I think it's particularly good from an attacking point of view, which is why I want a wing back in here over going for the likes of Mendy in goal. Now, I could go Mendy in goal and downgrade Reece James to Zinchenko, for example, who is now signed at Arsenal, and that would save me $1 million. But I do think having Reece James or Chilwell in your team is really worth it. And I've gone with Reece James over Chilwell because we never know quite how a defender comes back from injury. Are they going to hit the ground running like they did before they get injured? So I just think it's safer to go with Reece James over Chilwell to start the season. Now, next to him, we have double Manchester City defence. Again, Cancelo in here. I don't want to talk too much about him. A lot of you have got Cancelo. I have upgraded from Diaz and Laporte, who actually both have knocks at the moment and are a bit of a doubt for game week week 1 as well. So worth bearing that in mind. But I do think the attacking threat that Cancelo had, he actually only scored 3 goals and 11 assists last season and massively underperformed his XG. He had more shots on target. He had more shots overall as well than any other defender in the league. And I think he'll step up those 3 goals. Now that he's taken the number 7, it kind of gives me the impression that he's going to be playing far forward and getting into those advanced positions like we saw last season as well. So I really like him. And then next to him, we've got Kyle Walker, which is probably the one which I'm pretty 50-50 about at the moment and could move to a few other players. So 5 million at the moment, and the Cucurella move to Manchester City looks like it's stalled a little bit. Brighton are asking a lot of money for him, and Manchester City don't look like they want to pay as much as they do. Now, they might meet in the middle, but at the moment, it doesn't look like that deal is necessarily going to happen. Kyle Walker is amazing value at 5 million if he doesn't sign, and Kyle Walker is going to play the majority, particularly at the start of the season until the Champions League starts. He's also said that he feels like he's playing at the highest level he's played at for a long time. So again, really confident with that if Cucurella doesn't sign. If Cucurella does sign, this could be Zinchenko, this could be Trippier as well. 5 million defenders are really nice this year, and I think there could be a lot of strength in going with one of them as well as a 4.5. And when we look at my team later on, you'll see why the squad structure here I really, really like. So he's in there as a sort of placeholder at the moment. If Cucurella signs, I'll have to move it to someone else. Maybe Zinchenko, maybe Trippier, but at the moment he's in there because if he is starting, a double Manchester City defence for the opening run with one being 5 million could be an absolute bargain. Next up, we'll move into the midfield. If you haven't already, make sure you join the league code. There are prizes to be won for you all as well. It is a subscriber-only league. We are also chasing 25,000 subscribers as well by the start of the season. So if you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. Please make sure you like the video as well. It really does help support it. But midfield, we start off with Salah. I've put a few drafts together which potentially didn't have Salah, and I do like what you can do with it, but I've been burnt in the past by not starting the season with Salah, and I'm not going to do it again. He is such a good captaincy option for the first few game weeks as well, so he is in there and I don't think he's going to move around. It does mean that I don't have Son in here as well, which is a bit of a worry. Every time I see Spurs in pre-season, I think they perform well. Son is involved, Kane is looking good. Having no Spurs cover is a little bit of a concern, but he is in there for the time being, and I'm not going to go without Salah. It might be someone else that I have to downgrade in order to get Kulusevski, Kane or Son into this draft. Next in, we have Luis Diaz, so I have moved away from Robertson, downgraded him to Kyle Walker, and then got Luis Diaz into my midfield. Again, with Jota being injured, it does look like Diaz is going to start out on that left-hand side pretty consistently, and I think that's a great option for their run at the start of the season. Now, if Jota comes back, I might have to rethink it, but if that's the case and Jota's going to be out, then I do like Diaz. Robertson versus Diaz is very 50-50. I think they're equally as good. It kind of just depends on the rest of your squad and which fits better. Do you need a defender or do you need a midfielder? Because I think they'll score pretty evenly, particularly at the start of the season. Now, next to him, we've got Pedro Neto, and I cannot understand the hate that Pedro Neto is getting at the moment. He scored again in the most recent friendly yesterday. He looks really good, playing on that wing for them, taking set pieces as well. 5.5 million. He looks nailed on. I cannot understand why people are not going with this guy. He is one of the most nailed players in my Gameweek 1 team unless he picks up an injury. Very, very happy with him, and I really would advise you going and getting him. He looks like an absolute bargain. Now, someone else that looks like an absolute bargain who has come into my team is Martinelli. 6 million for him again seems great. They don't look like they're going to sign another winger, and it looks like Smith Rowe might not be fit for the start of the season. Now, he's not going to play 90 minutes every game, and I get that, but actually a lot of players are not going to play 90 minutes anymore because of the 5 sub rule. If he starts on that left-hand side, there is a chance that Jesus and Nketiah start together, which could not be good for the minutes of Martinelli. But again, at the start of the season, I think Martinelli's looked good in pre-season. He scored again in their most recent friendly, so I am impressed by him. And at 6 million, given their run of fixtures, I think he is a really nice option and just such a bargain as well. I don't have to play him every week because I do have a couple of bench players in this squad, but for what we get with 6 million, he could be great. Then moving up front, of course, Haaland is in here at the moment. So as I spoke about with Son in for Haaland or Kane in for Haaland is definitely something I'm considering. This squad has no money in the bank, so if I wanted to go with Son, I could sell Martinelli. I could downgrade Ramsdale to a 4.5 keeper to free up that money. It is possible. However, that Manchester City run of fixtures at the start of the season is so good. I have gone with him. I did have Foden in a recent draft as well because I wanted double Manchester City attack, but I've moved that money around and gone with double defence for them instead. Again, Haaland, Bournemouth at home, Game Week 2 is a great captaincy option. Now, Mahrez has actually come out and said that he thinks he'll stay on penalties. Now, I don't expect Mahrez to start every game, but if Mahrez is playing and he is on penalties, that does make Haaland a slightly less good option, although I still think he's a very good pick. I actually think Haaland will keep penalties, and I think he'll take them. Mahrez missed more penalties last season than Haaland has in his whole career. So again, I think he'll come on, he'll take penalties, and their run of fixtures, he'll be great. I just need to keep an eye on his injury record. He did pick up another knock, then he's back fit. I think this is going to be an ongoing thing this season where he's fit, then he's not, then he's playing, then he's not. And that is a bit of a pain. And do I want to go with someone more consistent like Son or Kane? But he is in there at the moment. And then finally, along with Archer, of course, 4.5, he's the one that I've gone with, slightly less owned than Greenwood and might get a few minutes for Aston Villa. We've gone with Jesus. A bit like Neto, there is no chance that this guy doesn't go into my Game Week 1 team unless he picks up an injury. Very happy with him. He's looked really good in pre-season, got man of the match in their most recent match as well. So really like him to lead the line. It's a very template front two of Haaland and Jesus. A lot of you were going with it, but what this squad has done versus my previous squads is I now have a good first sub option, whereas before that Martinelli pick was a 4.5 midfielder. I've now upgraded it and I can either bench Walker, I can bench Neto, I can bench Dalot, I can bench Martinelli, depending on the fixtures that we've got. So that's the team, but as we talk about the fixtures, let's have a look at how my team would line up for Game Week 1. So this is how my team would line up for Game Week 1. It would be a 4-4-2. I have benched Walker here along with Pereira and Archer. Given that they go away to West Ham, I have gone with single Manchester City defence just because I think there's a good chance that West Ham do score here. And then there are good fixtures for the others that I mentioned. So Dalot has Brighton at home. If I'm not going to play him in that fixture, when am I going to play him? We've then got Diaz, Fulham away. Great. We've got Neto, Leeds away. And then we've got Martinelli against Crystal Palace as well. So none of those guys I really want to bench. It made sense to bench Walker for this one, but he can easily come back in from Game Week 2 onwards when they have a much better run of fixtures than maybe that West Ham fixture. Game Week 1 captaincy is most likely to be on Salah. I cannot see myself going anyone else. Potentially if I don't own him, then it would be Son, but I don't see that happening. This is my squad. Let me know what you think of it. Drop any questions you have about your squad or my team in the comment section down below. Let me know how you're getting on, any drafts you want me to rate as well. Thank you very much for watching. Again, daily videos are back, so turn on those notifications. There will be videos every single day to help you build your squad between now and the start of the season. Thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe, and I'll be back again very soon.